We have new people watching us here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report all the time, and I'm always curious how long you have been a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. There's no judgment here, whether you're a newbie, part of the Swifties, or maybe a homosexual, or somebody that's been around for a long time. Doesn't matter, folks. How long have you been a Chiefs fan? If you've been a Chiefs fan for 5 years or longer, I want you to spam C in the comments section. Let your voices be heard loud and clear, and we'll get started with this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Could Kendall Fuller make his way back to Kansas City? Welcome into this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us. And today we're all talking about the former Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champion, Kendall Fuller, who had a really good run here in KC. If you recall, he was traded here in the Alex Smith deal many, many years ago now and was very productive. He has since moved on and played for a couple of different teams. And now there's the possibility of a return to the kingdom for Kendall Fuller. A to Z Sports Chiefs insider Charles Goldman, he does a really good job covering the team. He is suggesting this possibility that they could reach into the market and sign Kendall Fuller. Let's hear more from Charles Goodwin. This is one in which Kansas City has familiarity. The Chiefs, of course, acquired Fuller in the Alex Smith trade back in 2018. Fuller has mostly played the outside corner position since departing the team following the 2019 season. When he was in Kansas City under Steve Spagnuolo, he played in the slot and at safety. Fuller is the type of player who knows the system, has a ton of versatility, and could help provide a solution at both slot and wide cornerback spots. He could help create a solution that allows Trent McDuffie to play in the slot more often and has the veteran leadership and expertise to help some young players like Jamari Connor reach their full potential. Let me say this first and foremost. I'm a big fan of Kendall Fuller. I really liked the fit when he was here with that Alex Smith trade. I think that was a trade that worked out really well for Kansas City to bring in a player of Fuller's caliber, and it was very helpful in the early stages of this Mahomes, Reed, Kelsey, Jones era, and played a significant role on that Chiefs defense, and I'll forever be grateful for that. With that said, I know he's a bit older now than what he was in his first tenure in Kansas City, but he is still a solid player at this point in his career. I know that he's missed some time, and we'll go over that and go over the full injury history in just a moment. But when I look at Kendall Fuller, I'll be honest, I don't have a negative thing to say about this guy. It is all positive. He is a very good teammate. He's very productive. He plays at a high level. And then when we talk dollars and cents of potentially signing him, he's not going to cost you that much either. The Chiefs have plenty of cap space, and Fuller could be used to help out and add some depth to that corner room. So with all that said, I am open to the idea of potentially signing Kendall Fuller and bringing him back for another run in KC. We've seen, traditionally speaking, Andy Reid and Brett Veach, they like to leave that door open for former players to come back, and I have no reason to think that the door won't be open for Kendall Fuller to make a return as well. Your chance to be Brett Veach here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Should the Chiefs sign Kendall Fuller? You got two options here. Type S for sign, P for pass. In the comment section, let us know what you think. Folks, I want to make sure you subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report as we bring you our daily news and rumors. We have live shows each and every Tuesday. We're also bringing you interactive Q&A mailbags, breaking news. We're covering training camp and more right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Doesn't cost you a thing. Absolutely 100% free to subscribe. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Subscribe now. Stay up to date with everything happening on your favorite team. We got you covered. Let's get at least 20 subs off today's video. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. More on Kendall Fuller, a Super Bowl champion here in Kansas City, previously with the Chiefs, the Commanders, and the Dolphins. And a lot of experience that he brings to the table, to be exact. 128 career games played with 104 starts in his career. And he's been good everywhere, whether it was in Kansas City, Washington, or Miami. He has been solid. He's never been one of the best corners, but he's never been bad either. He's always just been kind of in that middle tier of sorts. And if you look at his statistics, not bad at all the last 4 seasons. Last year, in 11 games played, had 7 pass breakups, 50 tackles. And the year prior to that in Washington, 2 interceptions, 9 pass breakups, 79 tackles, 3 interceptions in 2022, along with 13 pass breakups and 52 tackles. His coverage stats, a little further here. Completion percentage allowed was a bit high at 68.1. Only gave up 1 touchdown, though. And the QB rating was a bit high at 97.7. But that doesn't necessarily tell the full story, folks, because we're going to show you his grades from Pro Football Focus last year. Kind of get into the nerd numbers of sorts. And when you look across the board at every major category of getting things further beyond just the actual stats, but how he did on film, this will work. Defensive grade of 66.2, pass rush grade of 72.1, run defense grade of 75.1, and a coverage grade of 62.4. That is pretty solid as far as I'm concerned. I will gladly take that on this Chiefs team right now. The injuries are the concern here. For me, it's not the player, not the caliber of athlete you're getting out of Kendall Fuller, but rather, can he stay healthy? He did miss a total of 6 games in 2024, and it was for a number of reasons, not just one thing. He had not 1, but 2 concussions last year with the Miami Dolphins. Came back, and then he had a knee injury as well. And we typically see, I know that some people aren't comfortable talking about this, but just being completely honest with you here, that when you start to have the concussions, that can lead to more concussions down the line. So that is not ideal in that sense. And then a bit older, the knee injury as well. You wonder if something more could come of that or if his body's starting to break down. Those are all fair questions, I think, worth asking. With that said, he's worth the risk, and you won't have to break the bank either to potentially bring him in. He's not going to cost you a lot. I think it's, at the very least, worth looking into if you're the Kansas City Chiefs here. So, what do you think about signing another corner here, folks? Whether it's Kendall Fuller or somebody else that's on the market, sound off and let us know. Do you feel confident at that corner position, or do they need to bring in somebody else? Why for yes, in for no, weigh in. Let me know what you think. Got a great deal we're offering Chiefs fans. I know it's a little warm outside, but we have these Chiefs hoodies on sale. They were $55. Now they're just $33. And the link is in the second paragraph of today's video is where you can find this. Also in the comments as well. And, folks, I got to tell you, these things look fantastic. You're going to save a ton of money getting these as well. And if it is too hot for you, you'll thank yourself later for having it in that closet, folks. We also have other Chiefs merchandise available at that same link. You can check out all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Go see for yourself. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Go check that out today. Now, I look at Kendall Fuller. You don't have to have him. All right, this is not something that is going to be, what you lose sleep over at night. Man, we should have signed Kendall Fuller here. But it wouldn't hurt to add Kendall Fuller to this mix. And let me explain a couple of things. Let's start by looking at the Kansas City Chiefs corner depth chart of what they're bringing to the table here in 2025. Jalen Watson, Christian Fulton will be your starting outside corners. Trent McDuffie there at the nickel spot. And then there's some unknowns, right? Jamari Connor, is he going to play corner? Is he going to play safety? If he plays safety, that's one less corner you have. Joshua Williams, with Joshua Williams, we've seen a lot of inconsistencies. There's talk about him being traded. You also look at Noel Williams, the rookie. We'll talk about him in just a second. Najee Johnson also on the chopping block. Once you get past that big 3, then there's some concern. And we don't know if they're going to keep Jalen Watson just yet. That question has not been answered if he will be moved or not. With him going into the final year of his contract, with on top of that, the injuries that he's had to endure, could you potentially move on from Jalen Watson, try to get something out of him before you just let him walk for nothing potentially? Then Kendall Fuller could potentially step in and be that replacement. Also with Noel Williams. I like Noel Williams a lot out of Cal. 7 interceptions. He was highly productive last year, but he had a bad offseason program. Is he actually ready to go? I think he's got potential to be a starting caliber corner in this league, but maybe not right now. And that's okay. Maybe Kendall Fuller could fill that for the time being, and then we're talking about next year and beyond, Noel Williams getting his opportunity. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If you made it to the end of today's video, that means you are a real member of the kingdom. Spam real one in the comments. We'll see you next time here on the channel.